Hey guys, I'm back with another video. I want to do another dungeon guide for you. A lot of people have been bugging me to do a UD Strat. I realize I haven't been posting as much. I really do apologize. I promise you I got like 10, 15 videos in the bank. I just got to get them edited and get them out. I know I've been kind of slacking. Been streaming a lot on Twitch, so you guys can find me there as well. We're going to go over UD Strat. Before we talk about the dungeon at all, I want to go over my comp. So as you can see here, I have 2 shamans and both are not geared. And then I also have a mage and a rogue. So I have an Ellie shaman, a resto shaman, a rogue, and a mage. Now, honestly, not an ideal comp. And there's actually a couple weird things that happen in this dungeon. So I thought this was the perfect video to show you guys like what would happen, you know, if certain things go wrong. And we're going to talk about that. But right here, not an ideal comp. They're not very geared either, except for myself and Sanks. Having the rogue is huge, obviously, for interrupts, but then obviously the mage as well, especially for these first couple packs. Just for AoE purposes, and then, you know, counter spells a little bit later. So going forward here, usually you want a priest healer for strat, just because if you're in a new group, you know, shackle, things like that. But I do like shamans here simply because I'm selfish, and wind fury, but also tremor totem for the shriekers, the gargoyles that fear. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. So real quick, we're just going to play this. Let me skip ahead just a little bit here. So first off, you're going to open the gate. There's 3 packs that are AoE. Really what I do is I just have the mage Blizzard with them Brew Blizzard, and everybody else kills the non-elites. I usually have my melee DPS. I'll usually always have a melee DPS with me there, whether it's another warrior or a rogue. I'll have them kill the caster mobs in here, then the caster non-elites because they're just annoying, while I focus down the 3 or possibly even 2 elites. So most of these packs are non-elites. You'll have a couple elites. I just take those and everybody else AoEs the rest of the non-elites, and then we take out the main ones. So just going to skip ahead here. Same thing, same thing, same thing. Alrighty. So first things first, Shrieking Banshees. The ones that are clear, you can see through them. They're white. They are ranged. So you need to LOS them. They also have a silence. The silence is very, very far. So from here, I don't have the exact range on this silence, but it is far. I would probably say 15, 20, maybe even 25 yards. Like, it's a big silence. So back here, we're going to LOS pull this one. Go ahead. It doesn't matter to me if they silence because simply it's just one mob. We're not going to die off of one mob. So I'll bring it back a little bit, and then we'll just take care of it here. Again, the silence is pretty far. Watch, as you can see. I think maybe even the shaman gets silenced. Maybe not. I think we kill it too fast. Okay, never mind. Now, these ghouls here, these are your hardest hitting mobs outside of bosses in the dungeon. You're going to have usually some of these 3 packs. There's a couple 2 packs. The Raveners, those are the ones that cleave. So obviously have your melee DPS or whoever stand behind. If you want, if you are a fresh geared tank or your group is super fresh, go ahead and shackle one if you want, if you have a priest. Otherwise, just mark a skull and do kidneys, you know, a little bit of CC here and there. Obviously, they're undead, so your CC is limited on those. So looking, actually, go ahead here. Let me flat my screen. Okay, so you see these 3 crawlers, these 3 spiders. We had the worst RNG on spiders in this run, and that's why I wanted to show this video, because I'm going to kind of show you what to do. These are the trickiest mobs in the game for me, especially from a dungeon perspective, and you're going to see why. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to pull the ghouls here, finish these off. Thank you for Jared21 for subbing on YouTube. I appreciate that, man. We're going to scoot ahead here. Now, actually, this isn't a good spot. We had an interesting pull here where if the gargoyle, I've noticed there is quite an occurrence or a very common theme with these gargoyle pats, that if you pull it when it's going from from right to going to left, when you pull it, it still likes to keep moving for some reason. That has been something that has happened in Strat Undead for years. I don't know why it does it, but this is exactly what happened. I wish I could show you a better clip of it, but basically I pulled the Screecher and it kept moving and it pulled more mobs. So your Screechers are the ones that fear. So I had the shaman put Tremor Totem down. But then the weird thing about this pull is that we also have a Silence Banshee with it. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to kill the Screecher first, simply for fear purposes. So you would use, if you're DPSing, or if you want to swap out of stances, Berserker Rage, or you can possibly even use Death Wish. I mean, that's totally fine as well. So as you can see, look, the silence is far. Look how far back they are compared to the Banshee, We have 2 casters silenced. Look how far back they are. It's a deep silence. It's like 20, 25 yards. So now this is why these mobs are super interesting, because if you saw Sanks there, he didn't get out of the fear, could have pulled the crawler. Crawler's going to pull the ghouls. This entryway for UD Strat is dangerous. We're going to talk about the gargoyle pets. As you can see one going by right there. So obviously we're just going to kill these. Let me see if I can get a better angle. Now, you're going to have about 6 gargoyles that go from basically this light post here to back there, or they're going to go straight down. There's going to be 2 of them. There's going to be 2 gargoyles that will pat from left to right, and then they're going to go all the way back to the back of the dungeon. You might not see them until you pull the first boss. Like, they will be gone for like 5, 6, 7 minutes. So if you forget about them and they come up behind you, especially if it's a fear, they fear your healer, or they're just range killing your healer while you have the first boss pulled and you're netted and that boss drops threat, it can be a disaster. So while we do this, I like to go ahead and I like to pull the mobs I like to mark the gargoyles as I go. I'm sorry. So around here, the ghouls like to hide in some of these corners. You got to be paying attention to those. See how I have some gargoyles marked? There's Stone Spine. He's a rare. We haven't seen him yet, so I don't have him marked. He is another gargoyle that will literally disappear for like 10 minutes and then just come out of nowhere. So I got the gargoyles pulled. There's another gargoyle. As you can see, there's pats for days. Now, you can get pretty unlucky. Like Diamond and X, they were stacked on each other for like basically the whole dungeon. We had to get a distract out to like basically separate them. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to kill these. Now, as you can see, we got a gargoyle as well, marked. Always mark your gargoyles. I had the melee DPS and all the DPS really kill the regular banshees. The colored ones, they don't really do anything. They do like an anti-magic shell, which I mean you've seen that before, and they do reduce chance on hit like curse, but I mean obviously just decurse it. They don't do anything really crazy. So we kill the gargoyle here. We're continuing to pull. Let's scoot up a little bit. So we're moving left. I want to show you these crawlers. These crawlers are interesting. Let's see if this one does it like I think it does. So it's a range pull. The thing about these crawlers is that you can't LOS them. They will just continue to shoot you like with a scarab thing. And what I've noticed works with these things, and I haven't exactly figured them out, 16 years. I have found that if you like backpedal on them, like while they're about to cast, like it gets them to run to you. So you almost have to like strafe backwards. Watch what I do here. It kind of works, kind of doesn't. So as you can see, I'm kind of backpedaling. Do you see how they're moving? And then it starts to cast. I've noticed, let me replay that just a little bit, just so you can see what I'm talking about. So we go ahead, we're going to pull this. Now watch what I do with my character. And for some reason, this seems to work on the crawlers, because the crawlers will shoot you from anywhere. Their range is pretty much unlimited. So I've noticed that if I backpedal like that and like strafe my character a little bit, it seems to work. To at least pull them back a little bit, because what happens on those is, let's say you pull, you know, we had those 3 crawlers that I kind of skipped, but if you pull that and they're just hitting you, they're going to aggro all those gargoyle pats, and then you're in big trouble. So let's go ahead. Let's skip this just a little bit. Now these, you're more than likely going to get the crawler with you. Sometimes you don't. You can shackle it if you want. It's pretty RNG on a pull that like that. You're going to clear that. Now we're on the boss. I like to pull him from here and then bring him up. It's going to take him a little bit. He's just like the crawlers I was talking about. So you need to pay attention and just kind of let him come. He might get healing aggro. He drops threat like 6 times during the fight. Don't worry about it. He summons a scarab and then he does a net. So really easy boss. Now, did you see how I turned my camera? Because I know that there is still 2 gargoyles on the loose and the rare is in here, Stone Spine. So I'm always moving my camera, especially in Undead Strat, on a swivel. That's definitely a tank tip that I don't talk about a lot, is just really keeping your camera on a swivel. So I'm always checking back and forth just to make sure. I think I do it another time. See, I'm always taking a look, making sure, because I know for a fact that potentially my guildies or the people that I'm running the dungeon with aren't paying attention. So I got to be taking a look at all times. So we get some pretty trash gear there. So as you can see, I just skipped it a little bit. As we're walking back, guess who shows up? Stone Spine. They will pop. He comes out of nowhere. So there he is. So if we didn't kill that boss fast enough, he's pulling up right behind us on the boss, like while we're doing that one. So We kill him. Now, when you clear this area out a little bit, there's a little ledge right here. You can see my mouse in the bottom right-hand corner. I'm just strafing back and forth with it. That's a good LOS spot for these next couple pulls. There is 2 goals that hide, or 3 that hide right on this corner. I think a lot of people don't know that if they've never done this dungeon. Go ahead and pull them. So you can see I just pulled that next pack using this LOS spot. Okay, real quick, there's going to be crates that look like this. They're a little smaller. You can tell that they're clickable. Some of them are clean crates, and by clean crates, they have Stratholme Holy Water in it, which you can use on some of the undead mobs, especially on the Baron boss. We'll talk about that. But then you can also have crates that have rats in them, or maggots, or roaches, or they even have just a disease that it gives you. So what I like to do with those crates is I like to pop them on purpose when we're not like in any danger of some sort. And I just like to use it as free rage. Like, why not? It's just free rage. You open those crates if you're in a safe spot. So here we go. This crawler I pulled, ghoul came with. This pull can be kind of sketchy, especially if you have a crawler, because the crawler is going to pat here. Let me see if I can back up just a little bit to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay, perfect. There it was. Let me see. Come on. Okay, we might have to skip here a little bit. See how this pole looks a little sketchy? You got the Banshee here. You got the Crawler here, which is the range one. The regular purple Crypt Beast, they'll just walk right to you. They're melee only. The Crawlers are the ones that are sketchy. So you got the ranged Banshee here that silences. You got a Crypt Crawler, and then he's social aggroed attached to 3 ghouls. So this pool can be incredibly sketchy. Look at that. They are right on top of each other. So what you need to do is you need to wait, because the Banshee will actually pat and move like right about here. And that's when you need to pull. So watch. She'll move eventually here. There she goes. And then look, perfect timing. The crawler goes to the left. Perfect time to pull the Banshee. And then I need the LOS just so she's not sitting there casting and then aggroing everything else. There you go. Perfect pull. Let's go ahead. You clear the room. Now, this boss is the mind control boss. A lot of people are scared of this boss and not exactly sure what to do. I'm going to give you the exact breakdown of what to do. What I like to do first, though, is I'm going to clear the entire room. I'm going to clear the entire room. And I'm going to see if I can get on clip here what exactly I do once we pull. Okay, perfect. So this is the last mob. Look at, I pop Death Wish. I'm about to pop Blood Fury. I'm about to pop my Fear. You need to, as a warrior, pop all of your cooldowns, because if you are the one to get mind controlled, the first thing that they are going to do when that boss mind controls you, they're going to pop Death Wish, they're going to pop Blood Fury, and they're going to pop Recklessness, they're going to pop your Fear. You need to pop all of your CDs, get them out of the way. This also goes for anyone else in your group. So anybody, any other warriors in your group need to do the exact same thing. I had the Elemental Shaman pop Elemental Mastery, because if he gets mind controlled, pops Elemental Mastery and Chain Lightning's the healer, that's an automatic guaranteed 100% crit on a healer on a Chain Lightning. That's not good. So you always want your players, or you, to always pop your cooldowns, especially any sort of fears, Elemental Mastery, things like that. Now, there's an easy way out of it. If the mage is the one that gets mind controlled, they can just simply ice block it, and that gets rid of the mind control completely. But actually, I believe I think this was a couple days ago, but I think I was the one to get mind control here. So I can show you a perfect example of what to do when a big boy is the one getting mind controlled and everyone's kind of like panicking a little bit, you know? But now that I have all of these, I do want to talk about Blood Fury real quick, because if you don't pop Blood Fury, you're going to have that active out of the mind control. So then when the boss is hitting you and you're trying to tank, you're going to have reduced healing. So that, I mean, obviously that's a big deal. Now, another thing I forgot to talk about as well, is if your healer gets mind controlled, they're just going to pop a bunch of CDs and they're going to start healing. They're going to heal themselves and they're going to heal the boss. So when they come out of that mind control, they're just not going to have a lot of mana. So that's something else you need to be careful about. Let's go ahead and skip a little bit here. Perfect. We're taking the boss. I think actually perfect. Okay, I get MC'd. First thing I tell the mage is rank 1 Frostbolt, just like this is a PvP spot, like a PvP battle. Rank 1 Frostbolt kite me around. When the target gets mind controlled, they have to hit about 50% HP, and then they'll break out of that MC. So as soon as you hit like that 60-50 mark, hard stop. use throwing weapon, ranged weapon, just shoot them a little bit. So as you can see here, look, I'm hitting Sanks. This is bad. Sanks needed to leave. Sanks needed to leave a little bit earlier. I'm wailing on him. Now here's the thing, is if I had Death Wish popped, if I had world buffs on, if I had Blood Fury on, this guy might be dead. You got to be careful. So look, he sprints out perfect. There's the rank 1 Frostbolt Kite. Rank 1, he's just going to cast it on me. Sanks is going to come back in, do a little damage to me. He's going to continue to rank 1 Frostbolt Kite me. Now, another thing you can do is, as the tank, is if you're not the one MC'd, is you can taunt. So you can taunt if you don't have a mage. You should always have a mage for UD Strat. But if you don't, you can taunt, you can kite him around. But again, the rank 1 Frostbolt Kite is extremely effective. It looks like Sanks blinded me here. Now I popped Last Stand. That is one cooldown I forgot about. So you can see I popped Last Stand. That's not good. So I'm going ahead. I'm getting rank 1 Frostbolt kited. So you can see bigger crit there. As you see, they're not killing me. They're just trying to do a little bit of damage. So I'm like right at that 50% mark. So now they're going to hard stop. He's going to continue to rank 1 kite me. Shamoon shouldn't have been there. If I had cooldowns on, he's dead. Good. I'm out of the MC there. Then we can go right back to the boss. Chances are I'm going to lose aggro. So I'll need the taunt. And then obviously the other players need to be careful. Dead boss. Going up here, there's going to be one gargoyle that runs up to you. And then there's going to be another one that pats as well. So there's going to be one that comes right up to you. And there's going to be another one that pats up in this area too. You're actually going to sit around in this area pulling for the next, like, as you can see, the gargoyle comes right up. He doesn't meet all the way up. So we're just going to ignore him and then we'll mark him. You're going to use this spot for quite a while. So as you can see, we're just moved up a little bit. There's this corner here you can use for LOS. And then right where that light post is, that other ledge, that's where you're going to use your next LOS spot. So as you can see, we're using this spot, pulling, clearing the room. Again, there's going to be 3 gargoyle pats here. There's going to be 2 that walk up to you, and there's going to be 1 that stops. Let me show you. It's going to stop like right here, right where I'm circling on my mouse. Okay, so 2 gargoyle pats that walk up to you. And be careful if they're shriekers, because they will fear you. And then you're going to have 1 that comes up this way. So we clear this spot out. Did we kill the boss already? Oops, a little far back. Pull this here, boss comes alone. I always like to pull this one first and then the stairs, just because so people don't, I don't know, just not pay attention, I guess. Boss doesn't do anything crazy. He'll put you like in an ice tomb. So obviously like your next melee DPS will have the tank, so evasion or taunt. Take care of that. So we clear this out. That's about it. We can go here. This guy does a knockback and drops threat. Pretty simple. We actually got the hat to drop for the mage, so that's cool. Now, this is something I wanted to talk about. Now, you don't see this often, but if you are too slow in this room, it will spawn more abominations. You need to be careful. So you need to interrupt the spits here, and then the belchers, who are the lightly colored ones, the darker ones have a spit you need to interrupt, and the other ones have ads that come out of them, and then it has 3 more ads when you kill them. So I wanted to show you something here. Do you see this one that's walking up to us right here on the edge of the gate? Do you see him on the half of him cut in half right here? He's walking up to you. When you kill the first abomination, there is going to be that one that walks up to you. He's literally just going to walk up to you. So if you pull 2 at a time and you don't pay attention and that guy comes, you got 3 abominations on you all of a sudden. Watch. He's literally just going to walk up to us. As soon as you kill that very first one, I knew our DPS was okay, so I could pull 1 before this guy gets here. Now, when you kill this one, the one that walks up to you, there's going to be another one that comes and walks up to you. So there's going to be 2 of them that literally will walk up to you. They are just traps. They are literally just noob traps. They're trying to get you to pull extras, and then here comes the pat. These guys have a massive aggro range, by the way. As you can see, we'll kill this one, and then you'll notice one in the back corner here is going to start walking up to us. So let's see. We'll have to wait here for a minute. Okay, so we kill this one, and now watch this. There's going to be one walking. See, I know our DPS is pretty good, so I can keep pulling. You can see he's going to be coming. I'm actually talking about it like as I'm streaming here. I think this was an old clip. There he goes. See? Do you see how he's starting to walk up? So I was like, okay, well, I know our DPS is good. I'm going to pull this one before the other guy comes. So you can see him. You can see his chain. Here he comes. He's walking. Go ahead and clean the room. Now, if you really want to get sweaty in this room, Let me zoom into what I'm talking about here. Okay, look, you're always gonna have a spewer on the right side here. Those are the ones that spawn ads when they die and in the middle of fighting them. So your group, if you have a really fresh group and they are they can't drink until those ads are gone. So that means the boss, Ramstein, you're going to see in a second here, as soon as that last abomination in the room dies, he comes out. So what I like to do is sometimes I'll hug the right here, and I'll pull this spewer first. That way you can actually kill that one first and not have to worry about it. So that way, as soon as you kill the belchers who don't have ads, your healer or your caster DPS can drink right away. And that's really just like a fresh group thing. Like if your group is fresh and they're just blowing mana every single pull, or they just don't have enough mana, or the gear's not right, always hug right and pull that spewer first. So that way, as soon as the belchers die, they actually can drink instantly. Because if you kill the spewer, then you got to kill the ads, and that's like an extra 5 seconds that they've lost on drink time. Now, Ramstein. Ramstein can be stunned. A lot of people are scared of this guy. You can also FAP on him. Now, again, he's stunned. So we have a rogue here. So I told the rogue, yo, like only use your combo points. Obviously open up with the cheap shot and then use your kidney shots. He hits very hard. And as soon as he stuns you, he's going to go to the next guy on the threat. Could be a healer, could be a DPS. He doesn't give a shit. He's just going to go after whoever and he's going to smack him. So you need to coordinate stuns here. If you have a hunter that's perhaps Beastmaster, use intimidation until you come out of the stun, then taunt. So he is stunnable here. As you can see, I have a FAP on, so I'm not too worried about it. I did a challenging shout just in case he decided to pull threat. And then here we go. Now, as soon as you kill Ramstein, look at the gate. It's going to open up here. And then look, you're going to have a bunch of ads. This is where you can use Holy Water if you want. If you don't have a mage, Holy Water is useful here. Tons of ads. Tons of ads. Do not forget about these. Like, these will kill a healer if you just completely forget about them. Okay. So, now, let's see if we can get too far ahead here. Sorry. Perfect. Okay. These can't be slowed. So if you have a hunter, drop a hunter trap right here. They also have a shadow bolt that doesn't show when they cast. It's like an instant. If the mage is just kind of by himself and he gets hit with 3 of those shadow bolts, he's dead. You can easily rank 1 frostbolt, kite these around while the DPS helps you pick them off as you go. Now this mage has never done this before. So that's something you need to talk to your mage about. If he's never done this before, be ready to challenge shout, be ready to help, because these things hurt. So always have shield block ready. Always throw a shield on, especially if you're freshly geared. As you can see, the rank 1 frostbolt kite down. We also did have a earthbind totem down. So you can see he's just kiting. He's just kiting. We have a couple of DPS that are kind of picking one off. Okay, we got one picked off. I taunted. We'll finish that one off. The mage is going to kite the rest. And we're just going to kind of go from there. Now, see, good mage here. He's got the Nova. Shamoon's doing Chain Lightning DPS. We got one that's pretty low on health. We're going to kill that one. He's going to continue to kite the rest. Pretty simple, but some people get it messed up. Now, let's go to Baron. When you walk into Baron's room, you need to go all the way left. All the way left. So as you can see, we walk in through the door, go all the way left. You need to keep Baron where he is. He has a shadow tick of damage, but the ranged and the healer can outrange it without getting hit. So I did pop a greater shadow protection potion. Why not? Especially if you're in a group that's a pug, you should always do that just in case. And I gave Sanks one as well. Now for the skeletons, if you do not kill the skeletons quickly enough, they are going to heal Baron, and they don't heal a little bit. It's a good amount of heals. So what I like to do is I have all the casters sit in this back corner. I do not touch the skeletons. I do not demo shout when they're up. I do not battle shout. I do not do anything except hit Baron Rivendare. So what happens is those skeletons will quickly get healing aggro. They'll run right to the healer, and that's where the mage is that can just arcane explosion them real quick. So I think people think about the skeletons too hard. Literally just let them get healing aggro, go to the back corner, and then you AoE them down. If for some reason you don't have a mage, Fire Nova Totem works really well. You can use your Strat Tome Holy Water, do rotations on that because it's a minute cooldown. So okay, the Warlock's going to do it this time, and then the Priest is going to do it this time. The Holy Water will literally one-shot the mobs. Now, Baron himself, as you can see, I didn't move him, so that way these guys are not getting hit by damage. He does an Immortal Strike that actually kind of hurts. So just, obviously, you can see I put a shield on. So just shield block, shield wall if you need it, last stand, and boss is dead. I hope this guide helped. If you guys have any questions, just leave it in the comments. I can try and answer them. Try to give you a pretty in-depth guide for UD Strat. Make sure you subscribe, and I will see you guys another time.